Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to the Burgerzoid's Den. Alright, we're less than 5 months away from 2022, and I thought that I would I made a list basically of Harry Potter sets that I want to see for next year. Hopefully next year's Deathly Hallows, because that's going to be some pretty cool sets if they do that. But yeah, I basically just made a list of Harry Potter sets that I just want to share. And this is basically my wish list for 2022, just like I did with the DC video. Alright, so I basically made two lists here. Basically, there's one with Deathly Hallows, and then there's another one where basically I made sets based off of Prisoner of Azkaban, or not made sets, but made a list of sets based off of Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire, because I don't know if Lego's going to be going back through the movies to make more sets based off of them, kind of like what they did with these 20th anniversary sets, where they made stuff based off of Chamber of Secrets and other things like that. So like I said, I made two lists here. So I'll start with what I think is the more like least excited list, which would be the Deathly Hallows and Goblet of Fire. And again, I don't know if they're going to continue going back through the movies in this style of the 20th anniversary type stuff, or if they're just going to go kind of like that's where it stopped, and they're going to go back, and then they're going to go to Deathly Hallows, and then maybe do like another run through the movies and maybe do more remakes, which I'm not a crazy fan of, but whatever. Moving on. So basically, for some ideas, I thought of for like a $20 set, they could do. I just named it the Champion Selection, which is basically where the Goblet of Fire chose people to be a part of, or to be in the challenges. And like when Harry's name was called and everybody freaked out, that part, I don't know, I just thought it could be like a little like piece to Hogwarts, like very similar to the Polyjuice Potion mistake from this year. It would be kind of like this little like $20 piece of Hogwarts that you can put into your Hogwarts, that has like a little bit of a stage for the Goblet of Fire, and I don't know who it will come with. I was thinking Harry, maybe Dumbledore, maybe Cedric, or all those characters, Florida or whatever, whoever basically. But yeah, I thought of that as like a little $20 set. I also thought of another $20 set, which would be like the Wizard Campsite Attack. I just called it that. Where basically towards the somewhat beginning of the movie, we meet with Cedric Diggory's father. Is it Amos Diggory, I think? And Amos. I don't remember how to say his name. And they kind of do like they put a tent up, and then they're like, oh, we're going to have to sleep in here. And then they walk in, and it's like this whole crazy house-looking place because it's Harry Potter. So basically, I thought of that, and it would just kind of come with some, what is it? What are they? Not Dementors. The Death Eaters, I think, right? Those are the guys who attacked? I think. I haven't watched that movie in a while, or any of the Harry Potter movies in a while, so I apologize if my knowledge is not up to common standard. But yeah, I just thought about that and just having a Death Eater in there or whatever, and then Harry and somebody else. All right, so for two $30 sets that I thought of for this list, I had Sirius Black versus Lupin, or what was his first name? Was it Remus? I don't remember his first name, but Sirius Black versus Lupin. This is gonna be kind of like the forest set for this wave. It would just kind of be like a lot of like trees and forestry, and then it would have Sirius Black in his, I think, dog form, and then Lupin in his like wolf form, and it'll probably come with like Harry, Hermione, whoever. But yeah, that was just a quick little $30 set. And another $30 set that I came up with, that I think a lot of people came up with and a lot of people want to see, is the Mermaid Challenge, the Underwater Challenge, where it basically would come with probably a lot of figures, honestly. Probably Harry Potter in his like swimsuit, probably Cedric Diggory in his swimsuit, and then some prisoner character like Hermione or Ron, and then like the mermaids as well. So there were like a solid 9 to 10 characters in that scene, because you have the four champions and then also the four people who are captured, I believe. I believe there was 4 people. And then there's also like the mermaids as well. So I don't really know how that's going to be handled, the amount of figures to the price of the set. Maybe they'll increase the size of the set, which I don't know. I think $30 is a pretty good spot for it. But basically, yeah, a lot of characters for a fairly small set. But we all have to figure that one out. Lego can do that themselves. I won't do it myself. But yeah, that's about the $30 sets that I thought of. Alright, so next up, I have an idea for a $50 set. And this would be the Hogsmeade, I just call it the snowball fight scene, because this is when Harry, Hermione, and Ron had a snowball fight with Draco and his group. And, I don't know, I thought this would be like a good $50 set to continue adding on to the Hogsmeade world. And it could come with one of the places in Hogsmeade. I think, I don't know, there was a couple places. There was I think there was a post office. And I don't know, there's a couple of different buildings that they could work with, but I just thought of Lego just making a fairly small building to kind of add on to Hogsmeade, and then also like maybe some like a not a hallway, a pathway with like the stone walls along it, the very small or the very short stone walls along it, and you can like put your figures in there, throwing snowballs and stuff. I don't know, just a quick thought for the $50 set. And then I also wanted to include here the $60 set, which would be the Durmstrang ship. Again, this is another set that I think a lot of people want to have, and I think it would be, it would be a pretty good idea for it as well. It would come with some unique figures and pretty good set for $60 overall. Plus, it would be a boat, which is pretty cool. I don't think we really got a boat for Harry Potter yet, and this would be a good first one to have. All right, so this next set I thought of would be like the Maze Challenge. I don't know exactly what it was called. I don't even remember if it had a title or not. I put it as 70, but I don't really know the kind of like range that they could go with here. I don't know if it could be 50, it could be 60, 70, 80, I think it would be like the mid to larger range for the set, because I think this is a very important moment, and, if you're going to include Voldemort in here, you might want him in a little bit more of an expensive set. So I put it down as 70. It could come with Harry, Cedric, Voldemort, maybe a Death Eater or 2. Just, whoever, I guess mainly the characters that were in that scene, potentially minus a few depending on how many there were, and just kind of throw them all into the $70 set. And then the final set for this list that I have, based off of The Prisoner of Azkaban and the Goblet of Fire, is, I actually don't remember what this is called, because again, I haven't seen the movies in a while, or I haven't read the books, so my knowledge is not up to par yet, or is not up to par, and I just called it The Prisoner of Azkaban Prison Tower, where Sirius Black was imprisoned. I just thought this could be an extra Hogwarts piece. I was thinking it could be like just different, maybe like a 5-story tower, Hogwarts tower, with all different rooms in these 5 stories, and then at the top is the prison and the what's the word, the kind of like the spire part. So I just thought about that. It could be like $100. Just make it kind of like a bigger set. Make it the big Hogwarts set of the year. And then I didn't think of a D2C set for that one. Maybe they'll do like a second Hogwarts Icons moments or something like that, because I know we're getting that Hogwarts Icons set this year, full of all like buildable things that were from the objects and things that were from the movie. So I just thought maybe they could do it like a second one with, I don't know, somebody, I don't know. But you get the point. It just another one of those for D2C. Other than that, I can't really think of one. Alright, so that's pretty much it for my Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire list. Now we'll move on to the Deathly Hallows stuff, which I think is going to be hopefully next year. Hoping, fingers crossed. Alright, Deathly Hallows. So we'll start off the list with a small $15 set that I thought of, maybe like $15 to $20 range, and that is Hagrid's bike. And this will be based off the scene where everybody takes that potion to become like a form of Harry Potter, so they can all like escape the Death Eaters. And the real Harry Potter rode with Hagrid on his bike. So I just thought that they could make like a smaller set with Hagrid's bike and then like a sidecar, maybe like a side build of like a street piece or something. I don't know. And then it could come with like Harry and Hagrid, stuff like that. Pretty simple set, but I think it'd be really cool to get. And it could come with like a different Hagrid, maybe with goggles too. And then for a $20 set, this one I thought of like right out of the blue. When I first thought of Deathly Hallows, this is the one that I immediately went to, which would be the tent that Harry, Hermione, and Ron put up. And I believe the first part of the Deathly Hallows, or Deathly Hallows Part 1. Again, really simple $20 set. Just have your 3 Harry, Hermione, and Ron minifigures. Then you get your tent build, and it can kind of, maybe it could be a little bit larger than the one that came in the Hungarian Horntail set, just so that you can fit a little bit more, and it can also, bump up that piece count as well to reach the $20 here. So yeah, that was my ideas for the smaller sets for the wave. Alright, next up, I kind of want to highlight some of like the, how do I describe this? Like not the weird ones, but like the ones that don't really connect, that are kind of like out there, which would be, I'll just tell you just to kind of show you what I'm thinking of here. A $40 Nagini buildable character, very similar to the style of Hedwig and Fawkes. And instead this would be like Nagini, and it could come with Voldemort as like the minifigure to go along with it, and it could just be like a buildable snake that could be all like coiled up. $40 because that's what all the other ones were, and obviously the piece count's a little bit higher, so I just thought of that. And then also kind of another outcast one would be a buildable Ron figure, because this year of 2021 we got the Harry and Hermione buildable figures for $120, so I thought that they could just do a buildable Ron figure for $60 to kind of round out our trio here from the Harry Potter group. So that was just kind of like the weird sets that I thought of, or not the weird sets, but the sets that aren't like the mainstream stuff. I'm explaining this terribly, but I think you get the point. So we'll move on to the next stuff. Alright, so next up, I want to talk about a set that I thought of that's, probably pretty common. I think this would just make the most sense for this wave. Would be the Hogwarts Final Battle. The name says it all. It's the part where Harry faces off against Voldemort, and there's just kind of like the ruins of Hogwarts, sort of. Minifigures for this set: Harry, Voldemort, Neville with the sword, Ron and Hermione maybe. I don't know. There's a lot they could probably do with this one. And I put it as 50, but I don't know. I guess it could kind of teeter between 40, 50, 60. I don't think it would be like a $100 set, like a big, huge set. But I think it could be kind of like the mid to range sets here, 40, 50, 60. You get the point. But yeah, I mean, again, that's a pretty common one. Just something I wanted to add in here. Another one that I don't know if it's common or not, but the Lovegood house, like Luna Lovegood's house, which was I think the father was in it. I forget the dad's name, Luna's dad's name, but basically Harry, Hermione, and Ron went to that house and then like talked to Luna's dad and everything. I put it as 60. Again, the price could vary here, 60, 50, 70, literally anything. And I just thought I would throw that one in there because, it was a pretty, I wouldn't say long scene, but it was definitely there, It wasn't just like a quick 2-second scene. It had some runtime. Alright, so, next set I thought of was the Ministry of Magic, and I thought this could be like a $70 set. Once again, with most of these sets, the prices could just vary completely. So I put this one down as 70, but it could be, a bunch of other prices. But I was thinking that this would be the main area that we see in the Ministry of Magic, kind of, where it's the tall statue and the circular place with all like the different hallways and all that stuff. And I think like Dumbledore faced off against Voldemort in one of the movies there and everything. You get the point. I think you understand what I'm talking about. But I thought that could be a pretty good set to include here because there was also a pretty sizable scene relating to the Ministry of Magic with Harry, Hermione, and Ron trying to break in. So, yeah, I put that one down on this list here. Another one that I want to add here as well. This one just needs to happen at this point. It needs to happen. Shrieking Shack. I put it down as $100. Again, I keep saying this over and over again. The price could vary. but I put this down as 100. So much they could do here. I think the build will look so cool. It'd probably be similar to the 4 Pivot Drive set, just a lot more taller and run down. I just think it would look so cool to have, and it would be great to have, you know. And then I also put down another set here for 120. This would be like another Hogwarts set for the wave, which would be the Hogwarts like bridge. And I put it as 120, just make this really long bridge with, you know, some of it being destroyed by Voldemort's group and everything, but yeah. 120 bucks. I think that'll be a pretty cool large Hogwarts set. And then we'll move on to the last set in this list here, which I think is going to be like the D2C set. Gringotts Bank 250. I think it would be perfect because Gringotts was a pretty big role in the movie, and they faced off against the dragon and everything. Oh, I think that'd be so cool to have, and it would also connect to your Diagon Alley, your Diagon Alley set. There are pins and open holes on the sides of the buildings, so you can keep adding on. So Lego, make more Diagon Alley sets, please, so that we can keep adding to it. But again, Gringotts Bank I think would be perfect for continuing on the Diagon Alley row, I guess. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Alright, so those are my 2 lists for 2022 Harry Potter stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do the common YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you when I post the next video.